Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is KPZ, coming to you from the Southern Command. I'm in temporary headquarters here, and I have a match for you in the early access Tier 5 Pan-European Destroyer. The alternate line, the destroyer is called the Stored. We are in a domination match on a map I should know the name of. It's not Ring. It's New Dawn. All right, there's a look at the teams. We are top tier. There is a Stored on the enemy team. All right, the HNOMS Stored was a Royal Norwegian Navy destroyer during the Second World War, built for the Royal Navy as an S-class destroyer, HMS Success, transferred prior to completion in 1943 to the Norwegian Armed Forces in exile. Stored, survived the war, remained in service until 1959. Blah, 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 blah.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Played an important role in the Battle of the North Cape, sinking of the German battleship Scharnhorst. Went in as close as 400 yards to the Scharnhorst before firing torpedoes. After the battle, Admiral Fraser sent the following message to the Admiralty. Please convey to the Commander-in-Chief Norwegian Navy, Stored played a very daring role in the fight, and I am very proud of her. Commanding officer of the Duke York said the Norwegian destroyer Stored carried out the most daring attack of the whole action. Stored also took part in the Normandy landings. All right, so back to the match here. We are trying to ambush the Visby, as well as the battleship that's out here. The Visby gets in range. The Visby commander is basically going to sum up your experience if you are a very passive destroyer player. Nevada over here behind the island is my true target, but look, the Visby is playing from literally the rearward position here. If you are a destroyer player, you cannot play the way the Visby player played and be effective. You can't do it. And I'm going to show it to you. Yep. All right, more torps at the Nevada. And this is the biggest thing right here. I'm torping at will against the enemy battleship because the Visby is not putting himself in a position to spot the torpedoes. All right, so we're going to cut back in here after I make my loop. I'm not counting on any of these torpedoes to hit Nevada, so we're going to loop back in. There's also another battleship out there, but I'm paying it no mind. Just trying to keep a handle on the Visby here. I'm going to turn, wait for my reload, put torps into the gap. Meanwhile, we did get one torpedo strike on Nevada. As you can see, I'm still dealing with rubber banding internet. So hopefully, after a month here, I'm going to move into some permanent quarters that are not temporary, meaning I'm going to rent a house or apartment. Maybe I can get some faster internet. All right, the Visby finally came back over. Again, you're going to see some passivity here on display. He is not moving in to engage me, even though I'm kind of blind in the smoke screen. We're just going to back up, and I'm really biding my time. In my opinion, the advantage is to me, even though I didn't realize the other ship that was over here has been killed. But look at the torp, just really close the island, no imagination there. We're going to put out more torps on Nevada because why not? Guns at the ready, still waiting for the Visby. We know where he's at, generally speaking. And he finally pops up. And so we're going to engage him. And I thought the Visby is going to turn. He's going to get torps off. I'm going to be toast. So I start turning away. We'll lose the first turret there. But again, you can't understate the HE hitting power of these guns. And even though that kind of fell into the drink there, we are going to do some good damage there on the Stored, or the Visby, pardon me. Meanwhile, Nevada is still in torp range, so we're just going to do what we did all over again. We're going to get into the cap, we're going to stop, we're going to back up, because the Visby player is playing so passively. I just don't understand why I'm not dead right now. He should have pushed up and torped me, and I really would have had no recourse because I was torped out. He probably wasn't counting my torpedo salvos. Anyway, more torps out on Nevada. I just feel that I'll beat the Visby in a gunfight at this point. I'm really not worried about him. Second set of torps out on Nevada. And I'm going to try to farm a little bit of damage, set him on fire maybe with some HE. I know there are a couple other ships out here who I'm going to be competing with for the kill, but that's fine. Anyway, last salvo right here. And out over the island as we go away. And we get the torpedo strike and finish off Nevada. Kill number 1. All right. There's the Mutsu. That was the other battleship that was over here. Honest, I'm not distracted by the Bills destroying the Jaguars on Monday Night Football. Even though Josh Allen is my starting quarterback. Honest, I'm not distracted. All right, there's the Visby at the very rear of the map. Now, I'm a little more forgiving at this point because he has no health left. But again, he is not going to protect the Mutsu from any torpedoes back there on the border of the map. All right. So we're going to send some torps toward Mutsu. I'm not under the illusion I'm going to kill Mutsu. But that being said, I can be annoying to the Mutsu while I wait for the Visby to get back into gun range. Looks like he healed up a little bit. Does Visby have a heal? I think it does. Anyway, we're still moving around the island here. And when we get this little gap here, we're going to torp at the Mutsu again. The Movinet, there's another torp strike and flooding on the Mutsu. We are going to launch another set of torps right here. The Movinet felt pretty weak at the tier. I saw a lot of talk on Reddit that said, these destroyers don't pick up until tier 7. I was kind of pleasantly surprised with the Stored in this game. Granted, it is my best game in the Stored. But that being said, when you're top tier, you are a threat in this ship, in my opinion. So please don't sell yourself short. All right, here comes Visby. We're going to light them up. These guns are pretty accurate at range. Nice flat firing HE. Another couple of torp strikes on the Mutsu. We kill the Mutsu. And we also kill the Visby for the double strike. All right, we are up to 3 kills. That is how it's done. All right, in a minute here, we're going to engage our speed boost. I would guard these jealously. We're going to engage our speed boost and try to get into Bravo Cap and flip Bravo Cap. And once I get into Bravo Cap, you're going to see some more aggressive play on my part. Whether you agree or disagree with that play, normally I say this at the end, but please tell me in the comments what you think about my decision making here, because I am aggressive and I feel that I wanted to move to combat. Of course, anytime you're in a match and you get 3 kills right off the bat, you're like, all right, well, maybe it's going to be one of the matches, So we are moving to contact and going right into Bravo. As you can see, the movement is pretty fast, but I've been maneuvering, so my top speed is down a little bit. But speed is definitely one of the high points of the ship. Rudder shift, also a high point. And then the third high point is HE damage. By the way, we've optimized our commander, Jersey Swirsky, for HE damage, so just keep that in mind during this match. That's why we've been chunking these ships. We do the same amount of damage as a French destroyer with HE, with a much quicker reload, relatively speaking. All right, there's one battleship. It is a Duca d'Asta. Oh, that's a cruiser, never mind. Here's the battleship Bayern. We're going to torp at the Bayern a little too soon. Right as I launched it, I see him start to turn in. And I know that most of those are not going to strike their target. Unfortunately for me. I thought about hiding behind this little island, but instead I'm going to go to the edge of the cap circle. I know there's another battleship lurking out there in the edge of the cap. We're just going to have to deal with that. And there's a cruiser back over that way.
Smoke generator started.
All right, that is the other battleship, the Azure Lane Queen Elizabeth. And we're going to try to get some HE out on Nuremberg here really quickly. Salvo number 1. Nothing. I guess I missed somehow. And then somebody eradicates him before I can get my second salvo off. All right, we're 7 seconds away from capping. But I know that there is a ship in the middle. So we are just turning to shoot at Queen Elizabeth here. And the Bills just scored again. Which doesn't help my fantasy team because Josh Allen and or James Cook didn't score that touchdown. Backing up, I'm just hoping he'll get in my detectability before he spots me. He got about 30 seconds left on the smoke screen, so I didn't feel like I was wasting my time. Blind firing, there's the other battleship, a Bayern. We're going to send 1 set of torps towards him. I didn't want to torp out and then have him turn in and miss totally. So I saved 1 set of torps. We do set Bayern on fire. I'm pretty content with that. And so now we're going to push out of the cap while I still have a little bit of a smoke screen to defend me. We do get 1 torp strike on Bayern and some flooding. And it looks like he damage cons. So we're going to go right in between these 2 islands here. And I think he's going to spot me very briefly. But anyway, torps out again. There we are spotted. And we duck right behind the island and avoid that. And then we're going to jam on the brakes. Because I'm hoping that, like earlier, they're just going to keep coming around the island and I can torp them. Now, you can't always get that. But it's always worth a try. This is a tactic in World of Tanks we call reverse side scraping. So we're going to reverse backwards and hope to be able to get some torps off and then go forward and use the island for cover. Between the 2 ships, much more concerned with Queen Elizabeth because the Bayern is flooding. We are ticking flooding damage, as you can see. And I'm going to go back a little bit here and see if I can set him on fire. Also was hoping the Queen Elizabeth would push a little bit more aggressively. Off screen, their other ship, a cruiser, I think, got killed. So they just have these 2 battleships left. And so really, we've got to kill them, and then we'll win the game. All right. There is Bayern starting to push forward. We're going to get shots out. Rear 2 turrets. We do get a strike here. I was like, I need to go forward. What are you doing? Almost launched in the wrong spot. We do take some damage, but we do get our torps out. 1 torpedo much faster out of the gate than the other 3. But anyway, we're going to kill the Bayern right there. Kill number 4. It's official. We're on the hunt for a Kraken, folks. And I said, it's time to go. Queen Elizabeth, we're going to shoot the Queen Elizabeth. We're actually going to hit the Queen Elizabeth with a torpedo right there. But before I can get torps off, I am taken out by the Queen Elizabeth. So we Kraken failed. I was hoping to pull off a daring torpedo run like the actual Sword. But unfortunately for me, we were facing a cartoon titty commander ship who killed me for my troubles. And, you know, honestly, Queen Elizabeth, whatever the variety, probably would be shooting HE anyway. So we're going to sink here in the foreground. And meanwhile, my teammates are going to try to kill this ship in the background. So, yeah, so the internet's still trashy here. Hoping to upgrade in about a month or so. And Thursday, I'm going to try to get a Florida match. Although, to be quite frank, I've played about 3 or 4 matches in the new Florida, and I really can't tell the difference. It's still really terrible. So, we'll get a match. Maybe it'll be good. Florida's another ship that does pretty well in bursts when it's top tier and gets absolutely crushed when it's down tier. So we'll see what's out there. Here's a really bad torpedo salvo. It doesn't really have any chance of hitting. And you're going to watch the anime Titty Commander pick up all the medals here towards the end of this match. And she's going to get this kill right here on the cruiser, who I thought was going to run into the island and break and stop himself. I think he's trying to get Torps off and gets a close quarter expert against him for his trouble. But as you can see, we're in the closing seconds of the match, and the destroyer is in a smokescreen, so salted away the victory. All right, here we are on the victory screen. Double strike medal, 100,065 total damage, 49 main battery hits, 12 torpedo strikes, 4 kills, 2 fires, 6 floods, and a solo base cap. We ended up with 263,792 silver, 8,700 ship XP, 9,100 commander XP in the stored. Here we are at the top of the board. 1 medal, 4 big kills, 2851 base XP. GG the Queen Elizabeth with all those medals, but you still lost. Man. You still lost. All right, let's go back to the port, take a look at the ship. Milestones. All right, in terms of the upgrades, we're here in early access. Aiming system mod 1 and steering gears mod 2. No propulsion boost available because it's English in origin and all the modules are installed. Unlimited damage control party, 2 charges of the smoke generator, 2 charges of the engine boost. I would never use DFA on the ship, and we will discuss why in a minute. Epic ship XP booster and the common battle booster for speed. Standard permanent camouflage and the early adopter flag. Specs, 12,500 hit points with our build. Main battery, 4 120mm guns, 10.4 kilometer firing range, 4.3 second reload, 15 second turn time. HE shells 2008 max damage with a 9% fire chance. You only have HE, so you might as well build into it. Moving on to the torpedoes. Jeeves, onto the torpedoes, please. All right, 2 quad launchers, reload every 75 seconds. Max damage just 7,533. 7.5 kilometer range at 72 knots. The detectability is 1,600 meters. AA defense is terrible. That is why you should never build into the AA. Maneuverability, 40.2 knots in the water. 590 meter turning circle, 2.7 second rudder shift time. Concealment, 5.3 on the surface, 3.1 from the air, 2.3 when firing from smoke. Taking a look at the stats, I think I played 2 matches and then free XP through the modules to get it all boosted up. So we're 2-2, 53, pardon me, percent main battery accuracy, 12% torp accuracy. We're killing 1.5 ships and doing 36k damage average per battle in this ship. The best game is the game you just saw. 4 kills, over 100,000 damage, over 2,500 base XP. So definitely a capable ship. Nothing special in the armor viewer. All this stuff is generally pretty accurate here on the screen. Let's go look at the commander fully maxed out. Jersey Swirsky, base trait reduces the detectability. And we've got Eric Bay in slot 1, reducing the detectability again. And Dartige du Fournay as our new inspiration, which increases HE shell damage. Row 1, Observant Rage. Row 2, Look at Me Now. Row 3, Perceptive, although I wouldn't blame you for using Twist and Track. Row 4, Smoke on the Water. And the legendary skill is Unstoppable. Would love to hear what you think about the stored in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.